Now, there are kids in this state right now, inner city Birmingham, some of them in Huntsville, some of them in other school districts around the state, where they are absolutely trapped in failing schools. They are essentially sentenced to a life where the American dream seems unattainable to them. And it turns schools into convict factories. I mean, statistics are overwhelming. If a kid does not get a good education, if kids do not graduate high school, statistically, they are going to end up going to jail at some point in their life. It's certainly at a far higher rate than a child who grows up in a great school system like a Homewood, like a Mountain Brook, like some of the ones in Madison County up there for our listeners. There's great school systems around. I don't want to just point those out. But a lot of people say, well, wait a second now, you got to start at home, right? These are home issues. This is not just school issues. And I would concede that is the case in a lot of times. But there's plenty of evidence that a great school can help kids break the vicious cycle of poverty and apathy in this country. Urban Prep in Chicago, a charter school up there in Chicago. Well, let me just say right now, people always want to bring up race in this issue. They always want to say, well, it's a racial thing, and black kids don't have the same opportunities white kids and inner city kids, et cetera, et cetera. What about Homewood? I mean, speaking of Homewood, extremely racially diverse school system, one of the top school systems in the state. So I don't tell you, it's not race. It's not that. Let's look at a charter school in Chicago, Urban Prep, 100% black students, 100% free and reduced lunch. They don't just have a 100% graduation rate, which they do. They have a 100% graduation rate, but they also have a 100% college acceptance rate for the last 5 years. Now, these are traditionally Democratic constituencies here. A lot of these inner cities, a lot of minorities. In the state of Alabama, I may be wrong, but I looked through the vote yesterday on the charter school bill. I didn't see a single Democrat who voted in favor of the charter school legislation. I'm just telling you right now, Democrats' opposition to school choice proves that they are more concerned with special interest than what is best for their constituents. Because if there was ever a piece of legislation that would help many of their constituents, especially in some of these inner city areas, it would be this charter school bill. It would be school choice in general. And Alabama Democrats have proven once again that they are more concerned about what the teachers union thinks about what they are voting on, what the special interests think about what they are voting on, than they are about educating the kids of this state, specifically kids who have been trapped in inner city schools, in failing schools, with no hope and with no way out. And they proved it once and for all yesterday. This is Cliff Sims with Yellowhammer Radio. We'll be back in a second.
This is Yellowhammer Radio.